Hey everybody, it's your boy, and new camera, so I guess new man. And what better video to test this camera out than an update one? So, let's get this out of the way, shall we? So first off, apologies for not really making as much content as I was like. Basically, I've been working a lot because, we got out of lockdown, kind of, a few months ago during the spring, and I've been basically doing more shifts because there's less people to do the work. That's really what it boils down to. So I've just been tired a lot. And I like to write scripts at night for whatever reason. It's a weird habit. By the time I get home and I do a late shift, which has been quite a lot of them, I just don't have the will to do it because I'm just tired. Which is weird because I've been doing a lot of recording when I do script during the afternoon and the mornings before those shifts, which is weird. But, it is what it is. Got to get out of that habit. Got to start writing more earlier. But just something about the night time which makes me want to write more. I don't know. As you can see, got a new camera. The old one has been phased out. I plan to do a lot of stuff with this. I plan to stream with it, which means I have to get some new gear in which to do that, which luckily isn't too expensive for me, which is great. I have to upgrade a few other things, like I'm using one of my old lights. That needs to be improved because it's not strong enough. And basically, I've got to work out what are the best settings for this camera, which I've stolen somebody else's settings from YouTube. But hey, they said this is the best stuff that we should use, or at least for them, and that's why they were sharing it. So I'm going to use this for this video and see if it works out. So far, it seems to be working just about. So I plan on using this for streaming, for making videos that don't require too much scripting, although I do want to kind of script them, maybe use bullet points so I can keep on track with what I'm doing and not make as many mistakes. I do plan to continue doing scripted videos, but they will not tend to be using the camera because it's just easier to record them, although it's a pain in the ass to edit because editing the audio just takes ages, and then you've got to mix and match all the different source like images and stuff like that. Like the avatar's easy enough, it's the audio. I think it's just boring. Maybe the fact that it's more boring means that it feels like it takes longer than it actually does, whereas if you've got a camera, you've got to look at the person as well, which gives you something to look at, which makes it less boring maybe? I don't know. I plan on making bigger videos, probably with both the camera and audio only, with potentially the avatar or no avatar whatsoever. It really depends. So I have a project that's going on, which I guess we can segue into that. I have projects that I've been planning and actually have been making a lot of progress in regards to getting source material, primary and secondary. So I'll just tell you what the big one is so far. The big one is, at least for now, I'm starting one video, but I would love it to be 3, where basically, you always hear, don't you guys, when have you not, the current times that we live in have been compared to 2 main eras. One is that this is reminiscent of the fall of the Roman Empire, in particular, the fall of the West. They don't really tend to talk about the fall of the East in that regard, which is weird. You would think that's more apt, but apparently not. They often go on about degeneracy and decadence and other things like that. And then likewise, the second one that they like to compare this to is a lot more recent, which is Weimar Germany. Again, decadence and degeneracy. And I want to explore and research this and figure out what actually life was like during those times, and is it in any way comparable to now with what we're dealing with. And from what I have already known about via university studies and just looking about and comparing to my own life and times, there are some similarities for sure, but it's more complicated than that. Whether or not I will end up converting to their side, where they think it is exactly the same, or very similar, or whether or not I think actually it's even less similar, I don't know. That's the joy of researching and finding out these things. So that's what it's going to be. The third video will be something that not many people tend to talk about, but somebody gave me the idea that I met randomly in a bookstore. Thank you very much for giving me this idea, my friend. Basically, he said that this is more similar to the Russian Revolution from 1917 to about 1921, something like that. And basically, he gave one example which I thought, right, this requires research. I should delve into this. We all know about the statue issues that have been going on with people taking them down and erecting new ones in their place. For example, trying to desecrate Churchill's statue, the tearing down of the statues in Canada now, which was meant to be apparently over these dead children that were found in Catholic churches, yet why are they going after Queen Victoria and Queen Elizabeth, who are not Catholics? They were Protestant or are Protestant and had nothing to do with these schools. But hey, it doesn't matter, right? Basically, the point is that they're erecting their new ones and they're sending out a message. And that's exactly what happened in Russia. They were tearing down old Tsarist statues, and even before that, because, it's representative of the old order, and erected their new ones. In fact, Manchester brought one over from the Ukraine. Yes, we did. It's Engels, if you want to know. So that's what I'll be talking about. We'll be comparing all those time periods. Weimar and actually revolutionary Russia go hand in hand. They're concurrent, but the Western Roman Empire obviously is not. I'll also try and continue to figure out how we can deal with the situation we're in regards to fighting the left. I will continue doing videos like that, coming up with solutions, because as you guys know, I am sick and tired of diagnosing problems, complaining about problems, debunking ideologies and arguments, but not actually being able to do anything with what I've said. I won't be able to do things in real life, but of course, I don't have the experience, which is why I've also been trying to look up ways to do that, and that's why I've been ripping off Freedom Alternative. Eventually, I hope that if I ever become more influential, I'll be able to do something like that in Manchester. So I'm going to do videos on stuff like that and how we can affect change at the smallest to potentially the highest, and also talk about political subjects and ideas and things like that as well, because I want to make more evergreen content and educate people to the best of my ability, which isn't very much, because there are a lot of people who are ignorant on our side about how all this happened, why the communists do what they do. You see it a lot in Comicsgate, I found. They just don't understand. It's like the fish out of water. They woke up suddenly and realised that the world has gone to crap and they don't understand it. They think it should be the opposite. I'm going to make videos to try and teach people why this is the case. Scrump and Trigger Hippie have been doing something like that with the democratisation series of Britain. I won't be doing it in the streaming format, but I will be trying to do stuff like that in video format. Whether or not it's with the camera or the avatar or both, I don't know, but that's what I plan to do. I want to do stuff like that, which will give us the tools we need to effect some real change, so that YouTube is not just a hobby, it's actually changing things, at least as long as Susan will let me, obviously. I also want to delve into more philosophy, not just history and politics. I want to talk about, in particular, this one philosopher that I found like a year ago called Jose Ortega y Gasset. Some of you might be familiar with him, others might not be familiar with him, but he came up with the idea, the concept of the mass man, which, contrary to the words, at least a translation of it, it's nothing to do with the working class necessarily. It's actually a type of person. NPCs. It's an NPC meme before the NPCs. And I can't really go into it, but I want to discuss it in the video. That means reading the book again and reading other books that he made which delve into that topic a bit more. As you can see here, I've got the book. It's called The Revolt of the Masses. And this is the book where I'll be primarily getting all the material from to discuss his idea. Trust me, it's interesting and it does help explain mass movements and how all this stuff came about as well. I mean, only a part of it. It won't explain everything, but if you want to know why communism and fascism are so prevalent in the 20th century, communism especially is still prevalent even now, all you need to do is read this book and part of it will be explained. So that's what I want to get into. I want to get into stuff like that. So that's what I want to do. I want to talk about philosophers and philosophies that can help us, if not in the fight, at least to lead a better life, or to have some entertainment. Because you can read history, philosophy and politics just for fun. You don't have to do it for work. There's nothing wrong with that. So if anything that makes your lives or my life just that little bit better, just a little bit more entertaining, that's what I also want to do. Because I want to have fun on here too. It can't all just be serious. I do want to stream more, but there's an issue with streaming. Nothing to do with technical aspects, really. It's just, what the hell do I do with the algorithm? Because it favours either just videos or just streams. And some people are okay with it, but last time I streamed, and it had nothing to do with the like to dislike ratio, I lost a lot of subs. But then I've regained them since. But it's silly, isn't it? That you can't do both, and YouTube punishes you for doing both. But I do want to stream more. I keep saying that, but, when I've got videos I need to do, and when I'm working too late, I don't really have the time to stream. But I will try to stream as much as I can. Even if it's once a month, at least it's a stream, right, guys? With the streams, I want them to be a little bit more chilled out, so you guys can come and talk to me in the comments. I might do streams on topics, if you want me to. I might do them on more academic stuff, maybe like a presentation, or, if you want me to, I could stream about drama, but I'd rather keep the drama to a minimum. The next video that I've got planned on editing today and tomorrow. It mentions drama, but the drama is not actually the subject. It's more what the topic that it brings up. That's the actual subject, which is debating and is it worth it. So that's what all the plans are, at least for now. Other than that, there is the branding thing. I know that a lot of people can't find my channel on the search engine, so that's going to change eventually, but I want to wait a little while longer before I actually do that. I want to get to a certain threshold. I'm thinking 3,500 to 4,000 subs. At the current speed of growth, it's going to take a while, so I might actually end up not doing that and just completely changing the name. But as you guys know, if you remember the stream that I did a while ago where I discussed this, I will be using a transitionary name, like what Matt Christensen did, because he used to be called Skag something, and then he changed it to Skag something, Matt Christensen with a hyphen, and then over time changed the name again to Matt Christensen, but people already knew who it was, and it worked, and he's been big ever since. So that's what I'm going to do. It's not going to be a straight up change, it's going to be a gradual change, and then you guys won't be freaked out by a channel that you've never heard of. You'll know it's me. I already have a name planned, so don't worry. I've already decided. So look forward to that, guys. I don't know when I'm going to do it, but you guys will know. I will make a short update video on that. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Until next time, I'll see you all later.